Coming up on Pacific Report, we'll see how Hickam Air Force Base, Hawaii, recognized World War II veterans with the naming of its newest C-17. And we'll show you how Marines on Okinawa endured 4 grueling days in a boxing clinic. I'm Senior Airman Daniel McKittrick. Those stories and more coming up. But first, Navy divers completed 6 days of operations in the Gulf of Thailand recently as part of the Cooperation Afloat Readiness and Training Exercise, better known as CARET. Lieutenant Eric Wells takes us to the dive site of what is believed to be that of the lost World War II submarine USS Lagarto.
It's been 61 years since the USS Lagarto was sunk in the Gulf of Thailand by the Japanese during World War II. 86 sailors were lost, but not forgotten by their families or the Navy.
On the side, divers leave surface.
Navy divers aboard the USS Salvor and divers from the Mobile Diving Salvage Unit 1 out of Hawaii are answering the final question on the fate of the crew, their final resting place.
We all kind of talked about what actually happened and what could have happened. God only knows 61 years ago what actually took place and why she's actually sitting on the bottom.
A British wreck diver discovered the submarine in May 2005. The Navy decided to dive on the site as part of CARET, the Cooperation Afloat Readiness and Training Exercise with Thailand.
During the initial planning conferences, we realized we'd have a salvage ship very close to the site. So by incorporating this into CARET, we'd be able to bring closure to the families, at the same time accomplish some training objectives.
The submarine lies on the ocean floor 230 feet from the surface. That depth requires a mixed gas dive, which allows divers to go deeper, but also limits their time on the bottom. For this operation, divers had 20 minutes of bottom time.
There is so much time and so much invested in each diver because of the amount of decompression that's required to bring someone back up from that depth. The main thing is getting down to the bottom, making sure I could clear, making sure that I'm doing what I need as a diver to get down there, make sure I'm operating my rig correctly.
When the divers completed their work on the sub, their ascent time to the surface took approximately 1 hour, followed by 2 more hours in a decompression chamber. So dives were limited to 3 a day, 16 total.
Okay, well, divers.
Letters from family members and even a Western telegram to the sister of one of the Lagarto sailors was presented to the crew to remind them of the lives lost.
To actually read what the families are saying, how much it really means. Yes, we try on every dive, but it kind of gives you that extra push to really get the job done.
On the final dive, the crew of the Salvor left a brass plaque on the capstan of the sub honoring the 86 sailors who remain on eternal patrol, lost but never forgotten.
That was Lieutenant Eric Wells reporting from the Gulf of Thailand, and he says divers will send photographs and video of the submarine to the Naval Historical Center in Washington for further analysis. Hickam Air Force Base, Hawaii recently received its 7th C-17 Globemaster III on Wednesday, but the strategic airlifter wasn't the only star of the arrival ceremony. As Tech Sergeant Chris Vadnais reports, the newest Globemaster's namesake stole the show.
Hickam's newest C-17 is named the Spirit of Go for Broke, after the slogan of the 100th Battalion and 442nd Regimental Combat Team of the Second World War. The aircraft taxied into the ceremony with members of the units aboard. While the C-17 has been the guest of honor at the 6 previous arrival ceremonies, number 7 gave way to the veterans for whom it's named.
The C-17, like the famed 100th Brigade and the 442nd Regimental Combat Team during wartime in Europe, continues to prove its worth over and over again. The C-17 has set more aviation records than any other airlifter in history, and the 100th and 442nd have earned more medals for valor than any U.S. military unit of its size during World War II.
Go for broke, meaning all in for better or worse, was the slogan of the all-Japanese American combat units fighting in Europe in World War II. Some would say it's the perfect slogan for the theater's newest airlifter.
I think it's a great honor to have a plane named after our regiment, the Go for Broke 442nd Regimental Combat Team. No matter what we do, everything is do the best you can or go for broke.
The spirit of Go for Broke will allow the 15th Airlift Wing, Pacific Air Forces, and the Pacific Command to extend a helping hand to allies in the theater, as well as deliver military power if necessary. Tech Sergeant Chris Vadnais, Hickam Air Force Base, Hawaii.
With the announced retirement by the current Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, MCPON Terry Scott, Chief of Naval Operations Admiral Mike Mullen announced that he has selected Master Chief Petty Officer Joe Campa to replace MCPON Scott. Master Chief Campa is now the Command Master Chief for Joint Task Force Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Admiral Mullen said Master Chief Campa has the Fleet Marine Force experience to represent our sailors not only standing watch at sea and ashore, but also in serving non-traditional missions across the globe. Admiral Mullen also said he is looking forward to working with Master Chief Campa in addressing issues that face sailors and their families. Master Chief Campa enlisted in the Navy June 2, 1980, and completed recruit training and Hospital Corps A School in San Diego. He is a distinguished honor graduate of the U.S. Navy Senior Enlisted Academy and a graduate of both the U.S. Army Sergeant Major Academy and the Army Command Sergeant Major course. Master Chief Campa also has a Bachelor of Science degree from Excelsior College and a Master of Arts degree in National Security and Strategic Studies from the Naval War College. Today marks the 61st anniversary of the day two American B-29 bombers collided mid-air above Shizuoka City, Japan. On that day in 1945, a Japanese man decided to bury the American soldiers along with Japanese soldiers, leading many Japanese to label him a traitor. But this act of humanity is honored each year by Japanese and Americans together in a joint ceremony. Airman First Class Anthony Kuhn takes us to this year's tribute to the fallen soldiers.
Some Yokota members met with Japanese civilians and service members to commemorate those who lost their lives in World War II. Both Japanese and American soldiers are honored each year at this site in Shizuoka City, Japan. World War II veteran Jerry Yellen says this ceremony is held to honor all soldiers who have lost their lives in war.
And it brings America and Japan closer together. It shows that everybody is exactly the same. We're all human beings, and so this ceremony is an important ceremony of connectivity, of connection.
Mr. Yellen also says he came to this ceremony to remember those he knew personally during that time.
And I came here to honor 16 young guys that I flew with who never had a life, who died in the air war over Japan. And I came here to be a part of the ceremony because I've been lucky enough to live. So I came to honor those who gave their lives on both sides.
Japanese and Americans together remembered the war fought over 60 years ago and prayed for those lost and for peace now and in the future. Airman First Class Anthony Kuhn, Yokota Air Base, Japan.
Several Marines recently endured 4 grueling days in a boxing clinic at the Camp Foster Fieldhouse on Okinawa. Airman First Class George Solis shows us how the clinic determines whether or not their dreams of becoming a member of the All-Marine boxing team will come true.
Meet Marine Corps boxing team's head coach, Robert Michael. He's evaluating these boxers to see if they have the right stuff to become a member of his elite team. Some of these boxing hopefuls do possess the basics of a boxer, but that's not the only thing they need to have to be part of Coach Michael's squad.
Work ethic is a must. I need to ensure that knowing that you want to be in a ring, but for the Marine Corps team, you got to have good work ethic.
Throughout the night, Coach Michael showed off his work ethic towards boxing. One Marine learned a great deal from the coach by working with him one-on-one.
I've done a lot, actually. He's pointed things out that I've seen, but I didn't know how to correct it, and he's helped me out doing that tonight.
Coach Michael, who's a former member of the All-Marine boxing team, considers being a member a truly unique experience.
But being a part of it, though, is a beautiful thing, and I don't know, you would just have to be aboard in order to really get a total understanding of it, really.
If one of these Marines do become a member of the All-Marine boxing team, they will have the opportunity of representing the Corps in boxing events on a local, national, or international stage.
I've been trying to do it ever since I've been in the Marine Corps, so I guess now it's a perfect opportunity. Granted, I'm almost out, but the experience, hey, it might get me to re-enlist.
Airman First Class George Solis, Camp Foster's Fieldhouse, Okinawa.
Security for Marine Corps Air Station Iwakuni, Japan is a top priority at the installation's harbor. Lance Corporal Andrew Milner shows us how regular patrols keep Iwakuni's harbor safe.
Another day on the open water. Still, this is no pleasure cruise for Seaman Apprentice Somati Jaghari. a native of Queens, New York. Keeping the air station's oceanside boundaries secure is a priority.
All conditions normal. We basically patrol around and protect everybody on the base in case any intruders come in. We're there to make sure that nothing goes wrong and that the base is safe.
Jag Harry left home and joined the Navy when she was only 17 years old. She says this job is a perfect match given the love of open water she has had since she was a child.
It's fun going out, just being able to drive a boat, because I've also liked driving boats, like being in a boat when I was home and stuff. So I like being out in the ocean, away from work a little bit.
Working at the harbor and keeping the air station safe gives Jag Harry a sense of pride in her work.
It feels good to know that, you're protecting a bunch of people and that your job's important, that you should be out there watching to make sure everything's going right.
I'm Lance Corporal Andrew Milner, Marine Corps Air Station, Iwakuni, Japan.
And that'll wrap up this edition of Your Pacific Report. I'm Senior Airman Daniel McKittrick. And from all of us here at AFN Tokyo, thanks for watching.